Hello, hello. Today we are going to review Highguard's Wardens, and this is going to be mostly unbiased, probably because I actually haven't seen any of the playable characters besides the few that have been shown off. Or maybe they showed all of them off, because from the few things I've heard about Highguard, apparently there aren't too many playable characters on release, so they might have shown off most of them during the trailer. But once the login queue resolves itself in like 5 hours, I'm going to review the playable characters and see if they're truly as terrible as people think they are. Is this truly a sort of Concord 2 type disaster, or is it not actually that bad? But yeah, for now, I'm just gonna sit in the login queue and I'm gonna have fun doing anything else. I do love online games in the year of our Lord 2026, by the way. We have the year 2026. We are technologically advanced. We have AI garbage slop everywhere, but we can't get our PvP servers to work on day one. That's impossible. That's impossible. I'm logged in. That also wasn't actually that long. So this is literally the recording. Jesus fucking Christ, my ears. Ow, man. Okay. Menus, options, settings, audio. Please, a little bit less. A tiny bit less, thank you. 60 FPS lock in the menus, I'm assuming. Collection. Wardens, there we are. Okay, these seem to be all of them. So we're gonna start off with Atticus. Okay, he's got a bunch of skins. Who cares? Base level appearance. Can I rotate him? Can I rotate him? Rotate him? Can I rotate him? Oh, okay. We got Atticus over here. I'm actually kind of glad that I get to see his boots now, because I was wondering what types of boots he's gonna have. Yeah, this is Mr. Hero guy. First of all, we don't really have to talk about his whatever the fuck his haircut is. That's like the most generic shit haircut that I've ever seen. I don't know why we're doing this. Every fucking video game protagonist has this whatever that's supposed to be. Now he's supposed to be, what, a knight? I'm a little bit unfortunate. It's a little bit unfortunate that I can't see his weapons. I'm assuming the game probably has different weapons that you equip. So judging from his archetype, I'm not going to look at the skills that he has. Let's just try to figure out what archetype he might be, and then I'm going to look at the actual abilities. Maybe that's actually the best idea to approach this. So he does look like a knight. I'm assuming he has a skill that uses a sword, maybe, but we already saw that he has a double-bladed staff thing with electricity. But overall, the design is also kind of... I would argue we are approaching Concord levels of design choice. First of all, he wears tactical gear, a knight armor, a vest, bulletproof vest thingies with pauldrons, but then he has actual tactical pants or whatever that's supposed to be on. And then the rest of this design isn't just... There's something is missing here. This up here tells me knight. He even has a cape, everything. The cape actually looks kind of cool. Nothing against the cape, actually. But then he has this like tactical gear vibe going on in the rest of his armor. And I personally, I expected him to have like fully kind of knightly boots. So I'm surprised that his boots are not complementing his upper torso, because him having like actually fully kitted out, fully armored iron boots. I would have thought that this would have filled his design a little bit more. I also don't know what this is supposed to be. I'm assuming this has to do with some of his skills, something that he's throwing maybe. And then the weird arm guards, it's like, I don't understand what's going on here. This is like not at all matching the overall vibes. I like the torso, the upper torso, including his cape thingy, but I don't like the rest of the gear. It is a very generic. And in terms of visual appearance, his face, you know, But he's obviously supposed to be a sort of, you know, a sort of knight. Of course, there's a skin that makes him look 20 times better. Of course, there's a skin that just has him looking better. Because why wouldn't there be? This looks better. This looks genuinely a bit better than... No, fuck it. It looks way better than his default experience. This looks way better than any of his other skins. Look at this! I don't know why he doesn't have a helmet. Him having a helmet would have been way better, but these are pretty cool looking skins. Yeah, he's like a... He's a knight. He's a knight archetype. I knew he was supposed to be a knight archetype. I don't know why he doesn't have a knight's helmet, but why is this not his default skin? And then this is like a variation. But this is like... This is this weird Concord-like mix of... We want the armor, but we don't really have the full set of it. And then there is no complementary gear that would complement the rest of his armor. He has like these little guards on his legs, but I don't think this fully complements the look. It would have been better if fully armored. That would have been a bit better, a little bit better. I think what's a Widowmaker does have a similar thing going on where she has like fully armored boots in Overwatch and nobody complains about her design, you know, but this is too all over the place for me and it looks a little bit too generic. Is it Concord levels bad? Not really. It has a little bit more vibrancy going on. The haircut and the face character design is overall pretty generic, but yeah, the upper torso is definitely the highlight. Yeah, the rest is kind of Mr. Tactical Gear guy. But let's look at his like skill. What is he supposed to be? A captain who uses high voltage arsenals to control the battlefield, wreak havoc upon the enemy. That's Shock Spear, Charged Axe, Power Storm, Lightning Spears. Yeah. He's kind of a knight. He doesn't have a sword, as far as I can tell. But he is kind of supposed to be an... Or at least he has like an artisan of war or something. He's like spears and axes. By the way, weapons? Probably have to look at that later on. I don't know if I want to review the weapons. I guess we just go through the list. I just have to make sure to deliberately not look at their skills or their abilities. We have Redmane, who is a barbarian, which hopefully does have barbarian skills. Wow, no, dude. He does have a pistol on him. It might be some sort of ancient relic type pistol, but he's got a gun. He looks like a fucking barbarian, but he's got a gun. You know what? This guy's design is actually okay. I don't see anything that's too bad. I mean, the hair is a little bit weird again. But this guy is actually okay. He's got the sash. He's got... There's like another guy that has like feet that have like claws on him. The other guy's skin had a similar feet going on, but I can't really say much here to this guy. This is okay. Leather. I mean, is it like a full-on true barbarian look? Nah, but it's okay. It's not... It's definitely one of the better default skins. Let's see what the rest of his kit is looking like. Okay, it's just futuristic? Futuristic gear for some reason? He almost looks like he's got some sort of half nanosuit on him. That doesn't look too bad, but it's the skin, you know. Yeah, he's definitely supposed to be the barbarian. He does like the full-on Conan thing going on. Now he's green. Stonefang. I guess this is something to do with lore. He's an orc now, I guess. And they all have these highly ornamental skins too. Similar to the other guy. He has actually more skins than the titular character, which is so weird. He has like one more skin. Yeah, generic barbarian, you know, Viking type. I'm assuming he's a brawler, bruiser. Yeah, I don't know much. I don't have much to say about this guy. This guy actually looks okay. I don't mind this man at all. Emotes? Ah, who cares? Huh? Why is he not equipped? Oh. Barbaric Enforcer, Primal, Bestial Strength. Okay, yeah, he's a Berserker. Pounce, Enraged, Beast's Roar, Destroy Walls. Movement and reload speed buff after killing enemies. He is a Barbarian, probably a Bruiser. Doesn't say anything about him having more HP or something. I'm assuming that's possibly maybe not a thing. Again, I haven't played the game a single time. I'm just here to review the appearance of the guys. So Redmane is fine so far. This is the first guy that looks okay. Condor. Oh, don't look at this. Don't look at the skills. Don't look at the skills. Just look at the appearance first. Oh, there's clipping going on. We always love that. I don't really like that design. Those shoulder pads are a bit random. Is this supposed to be inspired by... I mean, it's supposed to be inspired by a bird. So I guess these are supposed to be wings. They've got feathers on here. There's a little bit of a Native American theme going on there, but I don't want to say anything that's might be misconstrued as possibly offensive. So I'm just gonna say that there is an appearance here that I see. I don't know if this is supposed to look like this, but I'm getting a little bit of a Native American vibe. Very overcomplicated hairdo. Not too bad though. Face looks okay. It's a tiny bit generic. I don't like the shoulder pads. I mean, every time you do something as a dev, you design something like this and then you have like obvious clipping going on there, you should probably wonder, should we have maybe placed these differently so that it doesn't clip through? Why does it always turn back? Why can I not have the... Could the camera please stay like this without fucking flipping back? What the hell? Okay. The game doesn't want me rotating the characters for longer than a few seconds, I guess. Another basic pistol. I guess they always have this basic pistol on them. It's the starting weapon, I guess. Oh! That's really cool that I've lost my connection. I'm guessing I'm in the logging queue again. Perfect. I wanted to just look at the Wardens and the skins, but I guess the server's capacity wasn't strong enough for me to sit in the menus. By the way, a game where you can't even be in the fucking menu to just look at stuff without being fucking booted to the login screen, man. Always online games in the year 2026. Never change. AAA developer. Okay, this isn't even a AAA game, let's be honest. This is like AA at most. But it was hyped up like a AAA game, so you're getting what you deserve, Highguard. Okay, we're gonna be critical. That's why... Oh yeah, what I wanted to talk about before I got interrupted by the game actually connecting itself. Currently, the game on Steam does have a mostly negative review score. As of the making of this video, which is currently, it's early evening on the 26th of January, this game does have a mostly negative review score, which was to be expected, and I got my fucking ears destroyed again. Let's just go to the next character. She looks mediocre as well, but it's fine. And now we have... By the way, this is... Why are all of these guys just generic humans? Can we not have a little bit more character variety? Maybe... Okay, maybe there are different characters coming up later on that are gonna look more like bestial guys, but why isn't the red man guy like an actual beast? He has like claw attacks and shit like this. Why isn't he like some sort of bestial, animalistic character skin? Why is it just generic humans? This guy might be related to crystals or something like this. His hands are like crystallized. Parts of him seems to be crystallized, although white hair, he might be ice related. I'm trying to figure out the character archetypes a little bit by their overall appearance. I'm trying to ignore the right side of the screen when I'm clicking on the characters. Unfortunately, their skin is pretty obvious, so he is ice. He is ice themed. Well, okay. What's his design space supposed to be? Like a martial artist? Japanese inspired? A monk? Is he a monk? Like a fist fighter? I don't really understand the things that are going on here on his shoulder. Like the overall design here is fine with his monastic attire, is it? Like, this is obviously a little bit of a monk's design, but then... What is this? Why is this? Is he gonna play like a round of football or something? Why does he need protection on one knee? Especially like he has only protection on one knee and then random shit on the other side of his foot. Same starting weapon, so they all have the same starting weapon. I'm expecting to see the same pistol on everyone then, I guess. And then random shit on his arm. Unless this is some sort of device? Or is it a brace? Is it machinery? I don't really know. It looks pretty random though. I am assuming this is supposed to keep his... whatever's going on in his arms in check. So I say this is like a physical kind of fist-fighting monk that has some sort of ice energy going on, and he's probably infected by something or tormented by something or enhanced physically, artificially by something. That's the vibes I'm getting from this guy. Also, this guy has way less skins. Definitely some sort of Oni-inspired, Asian-inspired vibe going on here. And then we have like the full-on ice version. And the skins always look better than the default, because how else would the game make money? I don't really need to comment on this stuff, right? Like, these do look way fucking better than whatever that is. His fucking boots. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on down here with this one knee protection. I do like the attire, like the overall... his garb. The rest of the stuff doesn't really make too much sense. But what are his abilities? So I say fist-fighting melee monk with ice powers. But what is he actually doing? He makes a wall... He restores broken walls with ice and then transforms into inner ice demon. He is a monk. There you go. See? Visually, this is a sign that at least the visual design of this guy is good, because visually you can figure out, okay, that's a monk. It's not, the design isn't all over the place, where it's like nonsensical shit that you can't understand. Yeah, sure, he has like random stuff on him, but I'm assuming, which is possibly correct, that whatever was on his arm and shoulder is something that is supposed to suppress his demonic urges, and he can transform into a demon. So this is like the first character that has a good visual design, and from the visual design I was able to pretty much judge At least some of his skills. I didn't know that he, like, okay, judging from his skins, I could tell that he was, like, demonic. But at least I figured out that he was a monk and had ice power. So, obvious, it's a very obvious visual design due to the garb that he's wearing, but a less skilled studio, like the people that made Concord, probably would have turned him into some sort of unrecognizable abomination and then just told you, hey, this is supposed to be a monk. At least from the visual appearance, I know, oh yeah, monk. Now he isn't a fist-fighting monk because I'm pretty sure everyone is using weapons. Besides their abilities, they're all using weapons. So I'm assuming there's really nobody, this guy isn't gonna fist-fight anyone unless demon form goes into melee or some shit like this. Mara. Okay. Vampire? Blood-sucking vampire? Some sort of... Wait a second, that's a Overwatch character thingy? What's her name's? I forgot the Overwatch character that has a thing on her back. Wait a second. Possibly support? A vampire support that sucks off enemies and gives health to allies, possibly? Definitely dark or is a dark magician. Design-wise, is this the best one so far? I would argue this is the best looking one so far. I do like the overall coherency of the design. You have the long boots, then you have the same design language going on here with the, what's it called? The arms and then the sash here. This looks really fucking good. Very angular design. You have a coherent color scheme. You don't have... Dude, there's a severe lack of random shit on her. This is pretty... This is really fucking good. I like this design the most so far. You have the pouches there, but that's at least not a random shit, you know? She doesn't have random knee guards. She has coherency overall in her design. She has overall symmetry going on, which is something that is severely lacking in some of these games. She is very symmetrically created and built. She also looks pretty good. There's another big advantage here. I'm wondering if I'm gonna get disconnected again. Oh god, I need to go faster before I get disconnected again. Dude, this is... I don't even know what else to say. This is really good. Overall color coherency, a visual appearance, looks pleasing. I like this. I like this very angular design where she has like a bunch of very crass angles to her, and she's completely, fully symmetrical. You know, you have this going on up here, which is similar to this design on her shoulders. Yeah, this is a really fucking good default skin. This is a default skin, by the way. And from her design, I want to say vampire, either support, vampire or dark magician. But through technology, possibly. Might be a support. Maybe I'm completely off. Let's see if the skins are doing anything to... Yeah, this is the opposite, you know, angel. Judging from the skins... Oh, a demon. Maybe I was completely off with her being a vampire. That... I don't know, this one doesn't look too good. I don't like the boots on this skin. There's a bit too much weird shit going on. That's a bit too much random, very bulky armor on her hips there. It's a bit weird looking. The default skin actually looks pretty fucking good. Almost the best out of all of these. But what is she actually doing? Grants allies an overshield. Okay, sacrifice downed enemy players. And creates a spawn point for your team. A conjurer who absorbs and repurposes the souls. Okay, she's a dark magician. She's a dark magician, not a vampire. Her design, though, gives you more vampire look. Especially due to her... She looks more like a vampire from her appearance. Dark magician is fine too, but I didn't get that impression from her design overall. But it's a good design. This is the best one so far. Now we have this guy, who is another demon. A lot of guys that give me like demon vibes. Mask collector? Okay. I don't know what to think about this design. We do have like another slightly Asian inspired look going on here, but then there's like random pauldrons and shit on him. And this is just supposed to be armor. There's nothing augmented to it, as far as I can tell. But this guy just has random armor bits on him. Then very normal looking pants. Cargo pants or something, high boots. The lower part of him has a military vibe going on, while the upper part of him is like a very fantastical look going on. His hair and mask are absolutely the highlight in the visual design space here. I don't like I don't know. This is something that Overwatch definitely did. Like the random bits and stuff on, or maybe even League of Legends started with this stuff, the asymmetry on characters, where it's like, okay, why do you have armor on this randomly, and then there's random armor on this, and then there's a sleeve missing here, and this one is not armored at all. What are you doing? Like, are you supposed to be fighting something, or is this guy like a super sneaky assassin type guy that is invisible all the time? Then maybe you wouldn't need to be armored. But yeah, parts of his design is going more again into the like Asian inspired visual design, while then having like the tactical gear on him still, which is like more of a military design. This is clashing a little bit in my opinion. It's okay. This is more of a mediocre design. But it's still not as bad as the main character. The main character so far looked the worst. That main character dude looks the weirdest out of all of them. But this guy is overall a bit, a bit boring. We already had a guy that looked like a monk, and he has a bunch of demon skins. Now we have another guy that already looks kind of like a demon and already has this Asian, just a little bit of Asian inspired look going on. And also he has random bits of armor on him, because so why not? Wood armor. Is he a support? Is he supposed to be a support, judging from the skin? And another fully armored Valkyrie. Very interesting armor. Okay, wait. That's not a woman, right? That's a man. Yeah. I guess they... Okay, I don't mind a sexy look on this guy. I don't mind it. Oh, it's part of a skin pack probably, right? It's probably part of a skin pack. That's why they all look similar. Yeah, okay. These are just skins, I guess. I can't really tell what his design is supposed to be from his overall look. Masks and a dagger. Assassin? Assassin? Camouflage? I'm getting the impression that there's also a bit of nature going on, but this is mostly due to this skin being like very nature themed. Maybe he's a druid? Maybe this guy is a supporter. Might this guy be a support character? Forest Wisp summon spirits. Yeah, he is. Spirits appear to give loot. Summon a forest spirit. He's a summoner. Summoner guy. Didn't give me the impression that he was a summoner, to be honest. Gave me more the impression that he is maybe a little bit of an assassin. But his secondary skin gave it away that he is some sort of nature spirit. But from his primary skin, I wouldn't have been able to judge that this dude's supposed to be a summoner. Oh well. Scarlet. I'm getting nothing from this character, as in what her role is supposed to be. Fire mage? Fire mage? But that's mostly because of her name. Why does this remind me of like a weird, strange ass version of Supergirl? I don't know why. Is she an assassin? She definitely has the lightweight armor going on. And she does have the similar cape. She was also shown off as one of the characters in the trailer. What's on her boots? Does she have the same material on her arms as well? Is that something to do with the skills? Is this like poison? Poison capsules or something like this? The knives definitely give me the idea that she might be able to throw these throwing knives. Design-wise, yeah, I don't think she looks that interesting. It's okay. She's got like another mix of tactical gear going on with random mystical fantasy. It's the weird mix of fantasy and then tactical gear that isn't really vibing with me. I guess this is supposed to be the idea of the game, that they're all like in fantasy mythical settings, but they're all running around with AKs and pistols. Oh, wait a second. She doesn't have the pistol. She doesn't have a pistol. Oh, she definitely is throwing that shit at people. That's like a character that throws poison or some shit like this. Yeah, high mobility character, but again, I don't like the mix of torso, upper torso, fantastical gear, this one as well, and then the pants are, and the boots, those are like super generic, normal military boots, or just hiking shoes, but then you have this fantastical, fantasy setup going up there, and then another tactical pants with belts and vials. She has like vials everywhere. I'm assuming this has to be part of her kit now, because otherwise why would it be everywhere over her design? This is another mediocre visual design. This is not really giving me anything. I saw her with a giant sword in the trailer. So this is giving me like really confusing ideas. Like, why would she be running around with a giant sword? Unless this is like a specific skill that you get in-game and it's not part of her kit. But if she turns out to have like fucking Excalibur or something, then I would argue this doesn't fit her design at all. I'm saying she absolutely throws this thing around and that's some sort of effect. Dude, don't tell me. This is green, right? Is she supposed to be a healer or support? Surely not. Another wood elf design. Nah. Okay. This looks really weird. Okay, this one is okay. Why does she have a wood elf design? Now I'm absolutely confused. Is she actually a support? Let's see. Scarlet Sandstorm? That's in her fucking... She has pocket sand in that vial? Enter stealth mode. Okay, she is an assassin. She does not look like an assassin. She does not look like an assassin at all. Shifting sands, shift a destructible wall into sand. And then blade. Okay, she throws blade. And she throws pocket sand. And that's... I guess that's supposed to be pocket sand in her gloves and whatever the vial on her back is. Okay. Alright then. Yeah, this is not giving me assassin vibes. This is a very confused visual design here. I would have never guessed that that's supposed to be an assassin. Some sort of ranged character that throws daggers? And the green stuff was distracting me. I guess I was confused by her vials and thought maybe she's throwing poison or something. But her visual design doesn't give me assassin vibes. She's way too bright to be like sneaky assassin lady. Now we have... Okay, flame guy probably has flame powers and punches people. Immediate impressions. Has a dragon on his back, can probably turn into a dragon. What kind of vibe does this guy give me? Dude, I'm getting like a weird deja vu here seeing this dude. He does look very generic. Do I have to say this? She looks turbo generic. Maybe that's why I'm getting visions of I've seen this somewhere before. What does this remind me of? I can't put my finger on it, but again, random bound shit on his boots. Like, why do you have all of this shit on there? And then he just has like a vest, overall vest that is more tactical gear. And then down here, this is more like what's I'm assuming is supposed to be more like the fantastical aspect of the game. A very, very, very generic looking minimalistic gear. Dude, what is... The vest and the arms is giving me some sort of vibes from the guy. I can't really place it. That's not really a good sign. If you get like reminded of something that you've seen before from a piece of design work or character design, but you can't really place it anywhere. Is it like a fighting game? Is it a fighting game? This might be... Yeah, it might remind... It's possibly reminds me of a fighting game character. This is even stranger. This is even worse. This is an even worse design for him. Poor guy, man. He really loves those bandages and belts. More belts! We need more belts. There's not enough belts and things on this design. We need way more. Nah, this looks like absolute shit. And then this one is just more tactical gear, I guess. He's like fully tactically kitted out, but he still has like his weird ass punch fists. His skins are really fucking bad. And she looks super generic too. Yeah, he's giving me a little bit of a fighting character vibe, but not in a good way. Very confused design, space, design, visual appearance. I don't like the random bandages around his boots too. Why? Is this something that's falling off here? What's going on? Eesh. However, I would argue, even if all of the mediocre designs that we've seen so far, there's nothing on the level of Concord yet. All generic humans though. All generic human guys. Oh, let me figure out what he is doing. He punches stuff, sends out a wave of molten fire, explodes and spreads magma, rains down fire upon targeted area. Yeah, his hands gave it away, so he's the Farrier character. Where is I guess this guy turns into the ice demon. They showed like a giant monster guy in the trailer, and I was thinking, hey, they have like a giant monster man as a playable character. Sure, he kind of just looks, he has like a generic human face, but that's a giant monster man. And I was like, yeah, cool, so maybe they have like more interesting characters in the game. But it turns out it's just his ultimate form. Can we see it? Can we see his... Nope, we can't see his skins. Because I would have really liked to show you his demon form, because that guy looks pretty neat as like a full demon. If this guy was like a playable character in his demon form and they made him like into the full-on ice monster Oni, who doesn't even look human anymore. Like, the big problem I have with these modern hero shooters is that everything that is presented here, besides this guy who has a mask on, but everyone here is a generic-ass looking human person. And that's kind of boring. Sorry to say. That's really fucking boring. We don't even have interesting character, like, visual appearance. We don't have, like, a Reinhardt in here. We don't have, like, a weird, lanky fella in here. They all look like super generic human beings. And the only highlight is her. And she's going full on into, like, the Moira design from Overwatch. Like, this is Moira, but she's using dark magic. And there's only 8 characters. I was expecting a little bit more on release. But then again, we already knew that this game was kind of thrown at us. Without even ever supposed... Like, this game, I think, wasn't supposed to be like the giant hype fest that people made it into. By it being shown as like the big last hype event at the Game Awards. But it only having 8 playable characters at the beginning is a little bit... No, maybe this game has like really in-depth build crafting and all of the different weapons that you can have make the characters interesting. We're gonna look at the weapons quickly because I've seen people point out the weapons as being very generic. Keep in mind, this is supposed to be a fantasy setting. Do these characters give you the impression that this is like a very cool high fantasy setting? This guy does a little bit, but then again, where are the fantastical creatures? Why isn't this character an actual wood elf? Why isn't this character an actual fucking monster man? Like, look at this. This guy's an orc. He's just a green human. Like, this is like, what's the problem with modern games, man? Why do we always only have like green human, blue human, human that has uncanny fur on his face? Why isn't this guy just a fucking monster man? He's like a beast. He's supposed to be like a fucking... He pounces on people, he's like a barbarian fist fighter. Why isn't this a bird lady? This guy can be a fucking generic knight, you know? Why isn't this guy in his full-on yokai demon form? Giant, huge guy, you know? Big fucking tank. Why isn't this guy an actual forest spirit? Why is it why is this just a dude with a mask? Why isn't this a forest spirit? And I'm guarantee you, this guy's gonna get a skin where he's gonna be looking like a forest spirit, if they can do that, you know. And then we have the assassin that doesn't look like an assassin, like, man. And then we have like Mr. Fire Fist guy who isn't like some sort of dragon creature. Like, it's just generic. Again, not everything has to be a super unique creature design, okay? We don't have to be super... It doesn't need to be like, oh, we've never seen this design before, ever. But if you're making a hero shooter in this day and age, you can't just put normie generic humans in there everywhere. Like, you can have a few human characters in there. Have the main character be a human, the assassin can be a human. This can just be a dark magic vampire lady, but the barbarian, like, enforcer, primal rage, claw dude, why isn't that like a beast man? Why isn't this supposedly an actual bird lady? Oh, I haven't even read her skills, but she is a bird lady. I've you know, we've seen that in her design, you know. At least some of the designs give you an impression of what the character is doing, so that's good, you know. Ice powers, bird powers, barbarian. I didn't think that this was supposed to be a dark magician, but okay, this is definitely not an assassin, and that guy is a fire dude, okay? You know, we have the most generic design space down. We are not as bad as Concord, that's good, but it's still just human guys. They're not ugly, that's pretty good. None of them are necessarily really ugly characters, but they're also very generic. They're a little bit generic. A little bit. Just a little bit generic. Let's look at the weapons. Is that a starting pistol? No, it's an SMG. This is the starting pistol. Break, top action revolver for maximum accuracy, stalking quad, any range. Marksman? Wait a second. A lot of guys have this pistol on them. Right? Nah, he hasn't. This guy. He does have that pistol on him, right? Right? Yeah. Oh my god. There's only so many fucking skins. What the hell? Jesus Christ. Okay. Fantasy game, right? Fantasy game with guns. How are the guns gonna look like? This one looks not very fantasy. This one is a bit better. It's okay. There's a little bit of a fantasy vibe going on there. Is it working with pressurized air? Is this like a pressurized air weapon? And some very uninspired skins. This looks way more, you know, magical and fantasy-like. Nah. This one is not too bad, you know. We got just a hammer. Okay. It's not even a very fantasy-looking hammer. Please give this a cool-looking skin, man. We don't have a cool-looking fantasy hammer skin for the hammer. Cool. We have a Fires tight tensor wire. Destruction used to be rapid. Oh, so that's a movement weapon. Maybe you could probably shoot this as people. Not getting a very high fantasy vibe from it. Just putting squiggly lines on something doesn't make it look like it's a fantasy weapon. This doesn't have a skin. What? Okay. It has 3 barrels. This is like the most generic looking gun thing I've ever seen. Thunderclap Highguard. What the hell is that? Yeah, man. Besides the 3 barrels, this is super generic, and it doesn't have a skin. Shotgun? Shotgun, right? Pump action shotgun. Fantasy pump action shotgun. Do we get a fantasy vibe from this shotgun? A tiny bit. A little bit. Mostly due to it. I don't know, man. Fantasy. This is a bit better. This is more fantasy vibes, yeah. Yeah. But most of these gold skins give a bit more of a fantastical vibe to it. But it's a skin, you know. Default appearance is... I don't know, man. This is... Actually, this wouldn't be out of place in a Doom game, to be honest. But is it giving me like a high fantasy vibe? Nah. I still don't know what the design space with these weapons is supposed to be. The characters are definitely fantasy inspired. But this looks like the BFG. Automatic shotgun that looks like the BFG. And this definitely doesn't look like a fantastical weapon. This looks like something straight out of fucking Doom. And then we have a skin that makes it look at least a little bit more fantastical. This is again really good. This is like a fantasy weapon. Although, let's be honest, not everything, like, if... just putting a bunch of squiggly ornamental gold on it, yeah, it makes it look like it's a high fantasy elven weapon, but let's just not do this for all of the guns in this game. Like, this can't be the answer to how do we make stuff look fantastical? Put a bunch of ornamental gold on it. That can't be the answer to the design. Like, how do you make this look a little bit more fantastical? There's definitely options for this. Also, this is also the most generic looking fantasy design. This is like, go Unreal Engine ChatGPT, design me a fantasy weapon with a bunch of gold ornaments. Every fucking game has these skins. The white with the golden ornaments on it. Another shotgun? No, it's an SMG. An SMG that could also be from Doom, and then it has a bunch of skins that make it look a little bit more fantastical, but this is like, actually don't mind the design, but does it belong in a high fantasy shooter? This is another Doom weapon. Doesn't look bad, you know, doesn't look bad, but does it fit in a design space? Was this the rifle? Was this the gun that everybody was complaining about? This might have been the gun that people saw in the trailer. We might be getting to it. They might have changed it a little bit since release. But yeah, this is just kind of most generic looking gun. There's a little bit more, you know, how do you even call this? What do you call this stuff? Like the accentuations that make it a little bit more unique? Dude, I hope this stuff isn't AI generated shit, man. I hope this isn't AI generated shit. This looks kind of cool. Is it fantasy though? Man. Another white gold skin, of course. We have just an AK-47, but fantastically looking a little bit. This is... It's okay. This is a fantasy weapon. This is a fantasy gun. If you want to make a fantasy gun, this thing probably is powered by souls and shoots some sort of spirit bullets. That is a fantasy gun. It's still a little bit generic. The roots and stuff on him, you know, that's a skin that you find in every game, but that is a fantasy weapon. Why is this not the default skin for the AK? Instead of having like wannabe light, this is like, it even has like the Doom color scheme on it. Oh man, this wouldn't be out of place in Halo 2. This is futuristic stuff. not giving me high fantasy vibes. Besides this one, wood furniture on a gun with high accentuated silver, that always gives you fantasy vibes. Why is this not the default skin for the gun? Because then you wouldn't be able to sell this as a skin, because this looks generic and boring. This looks kind of cool. I think we looked at the pistol already, you know, the super generic looking pistol. Then we got a rocket launcher. That's just a rocket launcher. I mean, man, so many games do rocket launchers so dirty, dude. Jesus Christ, man. Talking about generic ass rocket launcher. And then the skins are even worse. Holy shit. And that's about it. And there's one melee weapon. Besides the hammer, of course. Sorry, there's two melee weapons. Okay, I guess everybody has the axe. Is this a futuristic looking axe? Not even. Even when it came to the axe, they couldn't stop themselves to give it like a modernized tactical look. Why? It is this weird clash of what's supposed to be a high fantasy, but then it looks like modern military gear. Very strange. Very, very strange. Then we have all the mounts in the game, which, yeah, there's mounts in the game, and every mount has skins, at least, you know. Why isn't this a playable character, by the way? Why isn't this a champion? Yeah, why isn't this a warden that you can play? That would have been way cooler. Having a fucking griffin that you can play as a warden. Who cares about the... Yeah, I mean, that's about it. What can we say about this game? Oh, I didn't look at this weapon. It's a gun. It looks like some sort of, you know, could be from Destiny. It's a light machine gun with a drum magazine. What is there to say about this game, man? I would really be surprised if this game retains a healthy player base. And you know what? It's not really the fault of the developers, to be honest, Tree. I'm memeing on this game a little bit, but whatever the decision was to show this at the Game Awards show, man, it was an awful, awful decision to show this one as a highlight for the games, for the fucking game show. Yeah, it's a free-to-play microtransaction riddled hero shooter. The gameplay of this game has to be stellar, absolutely fucking stellar, for it to survive. If this game is really fucking good in its gameplay, then maybe it survives on pretty mediocre looking champions and weapons. But if it doesn't have stellar gameplay, then that might be pretty fucking bad for the future of this game. Ranked coming soon. I guess ranked mode isn't available yet. Okay, well, that's about it for showing off the cool characters of Highguard. Do you like them? Do you think they look cool? I think they look mediocre. This one is the best looking one. Yeah. What are your thoughts? How long will this game survive? Will I even play it? I'm just kind of here to look at the champions because I was interested in if they bring anything interesting, because the game was hyped to such a degree that I thought to myself, surely there's something interesting in here, but I'm not seeing it. And I was severely disappointed with the weapon design. But yeah, that's about it. What are your thoughts? Are you gonna play this game? See you next time.